Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience and those tuning in online, especially through our friends on the radio in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com and iHeartRadio. We're glad you all could be with us as well. I was just saying to our next guest, it's hard to believe, but it's been 2 years since she's been on Conversations Live. But Evelyn Murray Drayton has definitely been busy in that time. The last time she and I spoke was in January 2018 about one of her books she's been able to release called Anything's Possible that has definitely proven to be true for Evelyn. As this year, many people have gotten to know her because of her music, especially singles like are being played on the radio dial where you all are, called Miracles Are on My Mind. We'll talk to Evelyn not only about her journey of being able to share her story, but also her passion for being able to inspire people, to motivate them, and to remind them that with God, anything is possible. Evelyn, welcome back to the program. Glad to speak with you again.
Hello, Cyrus. Thanks for having me today.
Well, look, the pleasure is definitely all mine. A lot for us to be able to talk about, Evelyn. As I said, I first got connected with you, and you and I have been connected now for years through social media, but most people got to know you because of your books. This year, as I mentioned, people have gotten to know more about what you've been able to do musically. What has that been like for you, Evelyn, to be able to share inspiring messages, not only in the written form, but also in music?
Well, Cyrus, I try to use the tools that are available to me, trying to use the platform that maybe from my experiences that I can touch somebody else's life. And so I have been using the book writing and the music to try to inspire people. More, of course, I've written more books, I guess, or just as many books as songs, but really marketing has been a challenge. But through it all, because I minister, I'm a speaker as well. So I've been using the platforms available to just promote the work that God has assigned in my hand.
And you definitely have a testimony. We're able to hear it in the single Miracles Are on My Mind. Evelyn, I've gotten to know it from speaking with you before, and people who've read your books know. I mean, there are situations that have literally been life and death for you that you've been able to see God's hand is. I want you to talk about that. I mean, has that kind of built up your appreciation not only for what God has done for you, but what you know He can do for others?
Yes. Anything's possible and miracles are on my mind. The two correlate because I want to express my gratefulness to God and share and just motivate others, encourage others to let them know, no matter how dark the moment may seem, God is still able to do what He does best, and that's perform miracles. And I'm excited that God spared my life. I did have, I think my relationship was built even stronger because of what I went through. I had a relationship with God before the accident, but just having that relationship with Him during the process of recovering, and even more so now, I'm trying to hold on to what I learned during that time. Of course, patience, and really expressing my heart to God, even through my flaws, my bad decision making. All of these things, I'm asking God to help me to trust you the more and to seek your guidance. As the psalm said, I want Him to teach me, instruct me, and guide me in the way I should go. And if we're not careful, sometimes we can miss it because our own ambition get in the way sometimes. But I'm just excited to be able to share with others what God has done for me, just to let them know if he did it for me, he'll do it for you.
Right. Well, I think that is a message that is so important for people to realize. I think the other thing is to realize that regardless of where you are, that does not have to be the end. 2020 has been a challenging year for many people, Evelyn. I was just talking about this recently. How have you been able to navigate this year yourself, but also to encourage other people?
That's a good question, because the year started out like January, for example. I had a program at church for twins in the community, in the surrounding area, and it kind of brought the community together. Still didn't have the song in mind, trying to bring the community together. That was January. February, sponsored a sweet basket making class at the church, and that brought the community together. And here March comes, and we can't even go, we can't congregate anymore. So I took that time, spending time in the Word, as the song indicates, spending time in the Word, and miracles is what I heard. So I started spending more time in the Bible, and the lyrics these words started coming to me, and the next thing you know, I had this song. I didn't call it a song at the time, but that's what it, ended up being. So
right.
I spent the time really spending time before God and asking for his direction, and he brought things together. If he had shown me the full picture at the time, Cyrus, I probably would have said, oh, Lord, please no. But it worked out. It all worked together for my good.
Well, and to that point, let's stay with that for a moment, Evelyn, because I think it shows that even through challenging times, great things can happen, right? Is that kind of how you looked at it? I mean, because I guess an obvious question would have been, if we would not have gone on a shutdown, if the world had not changed the way it did in March, do you think that we would be talking about this song today?
I don't believe so, because I think I was being caught up with other things, like I said, sponsoring programs, and January and February, a song was not on my mind. So, no, I don't believe. I think I would have been bouncing around somewhere doing some other stuff.
Well, look, I think we could all relate to that. I think we all were kind of forced to kind of sit down a bit, right, when it comes to things that are happening. We're going to talk more about the music. I want to say, though, for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. I'm excited to welcome back Evelyn Murray Drayton to our program today. We're talking with her about not only the year that's been 2020, but how she's been able to use this year to inspire and motivate people, not just through the written word, but now through music. The single that's being heard on the radio dial in the South is Miracles Are on My Mind. For those joining us on the radio side, you guys will be hearing the single after this segment today. So I want to talk about the response, because you, the way I found out about the song, you sent me a message on Facebook and said, hey, there's a song I posted on my wall. I want you to check it out. So how has social media played a role, Evelyn, in helping you get the word out about the single?
Social media has, oh gosh, it's the source for me. And the mere fact that Cyrus Webb is on social media, that has been an open door for me. And I want to tell you publicly, thank you so much for the role you're playing on social media. It's because of you that I have the connection in Mississippi. And I want to thank you for taking time to listen to my request to hear my song, and I was just elated when I got your response. I was like, yes. so thank you for what you're doing, and the motivation when you share what you're doing. I noticed the comments, and other people they're inspired. They are motivated to do things with their lives because of what you're doing and what you're sharing on social media.
Well, I think, and that's what it's about, right? I mean, social media is supposed to be social. That's what I tell people. It's not just about look at me, look at me. It really is supposed to be about engagement, about coming together, working together. And I have to say this too. It's a funny story because of when you, and I didn't even share this. This is the first time you've heard about this, Evelyn. So when I heard your single, I did not know at the time, for whatever reason, that you were doing music. So I went to Amazon to see if the single was there. That's before I had gone to your website. And that's when I found another single that I liked that I told the station about, Tell Somebody. So, I mean, is that kind of one of the things that you're finding, that people are hearing about one thing and that leads them to other things, and they're hearing about Let That Burden Go, they're hearing about Don't Burn Down My Bridge. Is that one of the things that you're finding, that as they discover one thing, it's leading them to other things?
Yes. As a matter of fact, a radio station locally, they're playing a few of my songs here, you know, depending on their listening audience, the song they choose. So I'm excited that one door seemed to be opening a door for another, or catapulting another, my new single, just taking people back to the other songs. And to be honest, I had really stopped marketing, so to speak, because of the accident, and it seemed like my ambition had slowed down a bit, trying to recoup and everything. And, of course, having bleeding on the brain, it seems I tried to be careful not to stress myself out. But thank God I'm bouncing back and just enjoying watching God do what he does best. And when he gives us an assignment, he has a purpose in mind. And I thank you for going out there and looking at Tell Somebody. Thank you.
Well, I think in our radio audience, they'll be hearing that single as well in the program. I think at the beginning of this segment is when they heard Tell Somebody. So I think that is the thing, right? So I want to talk about then using your life as an example. When you had your accident, right, that we're able to hear about even in the new single, could you have imagined at that point that you would be able to do the things you've done, not just with music, but even with your books?
No, I did not at the time, listening to the doctors.
Right.
Because they were saying you probably, looking at the way you are now, you probably won't be able to do this and that. And while they were saying that, I was saying, in the name of Jesus. So, excuse me, with bleeding on the brain, it seemed for a while I didn't, and still trying to memorize to keep some of the lyrics in mind. So that's been a struggle right there. And that, when you talk about the new song, I did have a featured singer on that song, featured vocalist for that, trying to remember the lyrics and stuff from the accident had caused a little setback. But through it all, it's working out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's it. And I think, too, I'm glad you mentioned that about the feature, because I think it goes to say how people can work together for a common good, right? And I think that's another great message for us to consider as we're looking at the times that we are living in right now. So what is your hope, Evelyn? The music is getting out there. People are hearing about it. I think people are getting the message. They're having your testimony either in written form in your books, in musical form in your songs. What do you hope that this song and the message does for them?
I hope that they're I want to say inspired, but I really want to shake the people up. I want to shake them up and let them know that while we may not be the best at this time, we must make a start. And I believe there are hidden talents in people, so it is hoped that people will be inspired when they hear what I was able to accomplish even after all that I went through. So we can't be discouraged because of our setbacks or our handicaps, so to speak. But God is awesome. In all that he allows, he brings forth good, I would say, out of bad situations sometimes. So I want people to search themselves and say, God, whatever's in me, whatever I'm hiding on the inside of me, help me to bring it out and use it for your glory.
It's a great reminder, I think, for all of us. So I guess an obvious question would be, as we're in now the home stretch of this year, Evelyn, this 2020 is winding down. What should we be on the lookout for from you next?
Well, probably not another song. Probably not another song at this time. But I am working on another book.
Okay.
I've started on that. It probably won't be as big as some of the others. I was thinking one time just call it a little pamphlet, but I think there's more to it than that. And maybe in 2021, but definitely not before the end of the year.
Okay. So that gives us something to be able to look forward to. Again, everyone, Evelyn Murray Drayton has been our guest. We've been talking with her about her journey that she's been on, how her faith has guided her and definitely helped her to get to where she is today. Regardless of how you all are hearing about Evelyn, definitely want to make sure you guys go over to Amazon.com. There you can find not only her books, but also her new single, Miracles Are on My Mind. As I mentioned, too, you can also find songs like Tell Somebody and others, something that will definitely be able to motivate you, whether you're looking for something to read or to listen to. But, Evelyn, you also have a website. Let our audience know how they can stay connected with you.
Sure, thank you. My website is www.evelyndrayton.org. That's EVELYNDRAYTON, www.evelyndrayton.org. I'm also on Facebook, Evelyn M. Drayton, Instagram, Evelyn Murray Drayton, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Now, I haven't been as active as I should, but all of that's going to change because I'm on a roll now, Cyrus, and I'm trying to make up for the lost time during my recovery period and everything. So, as I said, the social media, please check me out, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and, of course, my website is, and you can read more about me there at www.evelyndrayton.org.
All right, definitely looking forward to staying connected with you there. Again, everyone, Evelyn Murray Drayton has been our guest. Evelyn, it is always a pleasure to be able to speak with you. I know our audience is enjoying the music. We'll continue to enjoy the music and what you have to share, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
Thank you so much, and this has been such an honor. I appreciate it so much, and I ask the people to check me out, and let's connect.
All right, definitely do that with Evelyn, and we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make today a great one. Take care.